I've been reborn. Back to 3 days before the apocalypse hits. The moment I opened my eyes, I saw an online post.
Our bio daughter is back for the money. How do we get rid of her permanently?
I felt sorry for this biological daughter, so I left a comment. Tell her the freeze is coming in 3 days. Send her to a mountain cave shelter with 3 years worth of supplies. The next day, I dragged my suitcase up to my biological parents' estate. Before I could even speak, they grabbed my hand.
Sophia, the freeze is coming. We need to get you to a cave shelter.
My heart skipped a beat. I thought of that Reddit post and tested them carefully. Mom, Dad, how do you know about this? They exchanged glances.
Sophia, we've been reborn too. It sounds crazy, but your parents would never lie to you. Time is running out. In 3 days, the freeze will hit.
So they've been reborn too. I've been too suspicious. But then something nagged at me. I tested them again. Mom, Dad, we don't need to leave. Let's stay here and fortify the estate. Dad cut me off immediately.
We have to remain here to assist with government relief operations. The estate will be used to shelter disaster victims.
But anyone who's rebirthed knows that survival is all that matters. Who would actually stay behind for infrastructure work? I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat and decided on one final test. Don't you have an adopted daughter? I'll go with her then. Their faces turned cold, pupils shrink. They blocked my path in unison.
No! No!
Realizing their mistake, Mom cleared her throat.
You don't understand. Nina has been fragile since childhood. She needs our personal care. We can only feel at ease if she stays with us.
Exactly. Don't overthink it, your daughter. We'd give our lives to keep you safe.
My heart sank deeper. If I insisted on taking their adopted daughter with me, their whole plan would fall apart. At that moment, I became 100% certain my biological parents weren't reborn at all. They were the ones who made that post. In my previous life, I just learned about my biological parents when the freeze hit. That's why I'd rushed here after my rebirth, to warn them about the coming apocalypse. But now, they didn't deserve to know. I forced a stiff smile. I'll go alone. Relief washed visibly over their faces. But the freeze will last a long time. I need to prepare adequate supplies to survive. I'll gather everything tomorrow and head to the cave the day after. That night, I opened the post again. My heart turned to ice.
Plan is in motion. Sending her to the cave the day after tomorrow.
The comment section exploded.
You guys are ruthless. This bio daughter is kind of pitiful.
My parents replied instantly, their tone cutting.
What's pitiful about her? If she hadn't come back, she'd still be begging in the street. Letting her live in a cave where she won't starve. She should be grateful.
I stared at the screen, a cold smile curling my lips. They'd specially crafted a freeze prison for me, hoping to be rid of me forever. But what they could never imagine was this. The freeze was real, and it was coming. Early the next morning, Dad came to find me.
Sophia, we've already located a shelter cave for you. Once the government relief operations are complete, we'll bring you back out.
I nodded submissiently. All right, but I need a lot of supplies, and moving everything in and organizing it all requires manware. I can't do it alone. Nina suddenly burst out of her room.
Can't you do it yourself?
Fine then. I'll go hire some help. Mom and Dad panicked immediately. They were terrified I'd involve outsiders. If word got out, it would destroy their reputation. Dad quickly grabbed my arm.
No. No need for strangers. Family is more reliable.
Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. For the rest of the day, I directed all 3 of them like a general commanding troops. Dad, take the truck and get steel rebar and cement. Mom, buy long-term food storage, canned bottled water. Nina, get thermal gear, sleeping bags, and emergency medical supplies. They drove 3 trucks back and forth all day, exhausted and drenched in sweat. I supervised the entire operation. I didn't lift a finger. I was going to make them build me an impenetrable fortress with their own hands. And when the freeze came, I'd let them watch me living comfortably inside. That evening, Dad was installing the final reinforced door at the cave entrance. The light from outside gradually dimmed. He patted the iron door with satisfaction.
Now no one can get in, and no one can get out. I left a small opening at the bottom for passing supplies through.
I looked around the cave. Supplies were stacked everywhere. Preserved food and rations piled up like small mountains. A generator, diesel fuel, and basic medications. They'd barely taken a few steps when snow began to fall from the sky. At first, just a few scattered flakes. Nina cried out in shock. It's snowing? How can it be snowing this hard in the middle of summer? Mom and Dad froze too, confusion in their eyes. I turned and walked back into the cave, my steps light. Yes, snow in the summer. Could the freeze be far behind? As I was leaving, Dad deliberately smashed my phone, cutting off my contact with the outside world. I'd been prepared. I had a backup phone hidden in my bag. I opened the news app and found exactly what I expected: emergency alerts.
Unprecedented to summer, stay at home and prepare cold weather protection immediately.
I checked the Reddit post. Nina had switched to her own account. That idiot sister actually believes the freeze is coming. So easy to fool. Now no one's going to disrupt our perfect family of 3. Someone else can't. It's literally snowing in summer right now. What if the freeze is actually coming? You're as stupid as she is. I closed the post and headed deeper into the cave toward a small hidden opening. I deliberately left it there. It was just big enough for one person to crawl through. After my rebirth, I'd made sure my adoptive parents prepared early before I left to find the Ashfords. But this place, with its fortress built by the Ashford family's own hands and abundant supplies, was the safest option. Bringing them here was the right choice. When I reached my adoptive parents' house, they looked surprised to see me and quickly pulled me inside.
Sophia, what are you doing back? Did the Ashfords treat you badly?
Mom, Dad, I came to take you somewhere safe. Mr. Parker and Mrs. Parker had raised me with love and even encouraged me to find my biological family. I kept it brief, not wanting to worry them. I just said I needed to bring them to a shelter. My parents packed a few changes of clothes and followed me without question. As we approached the cave entrance, I suddenly spotted a figure nearby. I quickly pulled Mom and Dad behind some trees. It was Nina. What was she doing here? Had she seen the summer snow and actually started to believe the freeze was real? I led my parents around to the back entrance and we crawled into the cave.
Mom, Dad, stay quiet. I need to check something.
I'd barely started toward the front entrance when my phone buzzed with a notification, an update on the post. The comment section was full of people egging Nina on.
You need to tell her the truth, that the freeze was a lie.
Exactly, you have to watch her break down and cry, that's the world's ending. She needs to know how stupid she is for believing you. I smiled coldly and walking straight toward the entrance. I heard Nina's impatient voice from outside.
Sophia, are you dead in there or what?
What do you want? My sudden response startled her. Sophia, I came to tell you the truth. There is no freeze. It was all a setup. Me, Mom, and Dad planned the whole thing. The cave is a prison we built just for you, so you'd never bother us again for the rest of your life. She expected me to break down crying, to beg her, but I stayed unurgingly calm. I know.
Yeah, right. How could you possibly—
Nina didn't believe me. The freeze is real. It's coming tonight at midnight. I cut her off. Nina burst out laughing.
Sophia, you really are an idiot. I already told you it was a lie and you still don't get it.
She laughed maniacally and walked away. Nina, told you the truth. You chose not to believe me. That's not my fault. That night, we put on thick thermal suits. Mom, Dad, the freeze begins tonight at midnight. There will be massive hail. Don't be scared. We're safe in here.
No matter what kind of disaster comes, as long as the 3 of us together, we have nothing to fear.
Meanwhile, back at the estate, Nina updated the post immediately. Okay, everyone, I'm counting down for my idiot sister. 11:59 p.m., 1 minute left. Tomorrow I'll show her the entire comment section so she knows exactly how stupid she is. I refreshed the post over and over, watched Nina laughing triumphantly in the comments, watched strangers join in the mockery. The smile on my face grew colder. My heart pounded faster. The freeze was finally coming. In the last 10 seconds, the comments filled with synchronized countdown. The countdown ended. The comment section suddenly went quiet. 10 seconds passed. 20. No sound of hail. Everything remained normal. After half a minute, the post came back to life.
Not a damn thing happened.
She confidently predicted midnight and got her face slapped. Nina was even more triumphant. See, there's no such thing as the freeze. She's a complete and utter idiot. Now she'll definitely rot in that cave forever.
Sophia, what's going on? You said midnight, but the freeze, it didn't come.
I didn't respond. I just focused on listening for any sound from outside. The post's traffic was exploding. More and more people flooded in to mock me. Nina was practically bouncing in the comments. See, I should have known she was this trusting. I could have just told her she owed loan max and needed to hide. She would have believed that too. More commenters piled on.
Calling me a small-town person who'd come crawling back to her birth parent for money.
My adopted parents beside me were trembling, their voices shaking.
Sophia, what's happening? Did you remember the wrong time? Are you sure it's tonight?
Mom, Dad, I couldn't have gotten it wrong. It's definitely tonight. Midnight exactly. But even as I said it, doubt crept into my mind. Could my rebirth have somehow altered the timeline? Created some kind of deviation? The thought had barely formed when— boom! Then a rapid series of crackling sounds followed, like countless hard objects slamming against the iron door. My heart jumped. I rushed to the door and pressed my ear against it. I spun around and grabbed my parents' hands.
Mom, Dad, the freeze is here. It's hail. Massive hail is falling outside.
Their nerves snapped to attention. They listened carefully and heard it too. The unmistakable sound of hail battering everything outside.
So the freeze really is real?
I almost laughed. They'd been doubting me this whole time, thinking I'd imagined everything. The hail grew louder and heavier outside. Faintly, I could hear the rumble of something collapsing, probably part of the mountain shifting. I immediately pulled Mom and Dad deeper into the cave. I turned on the diesel heater. Even as the temperature plummeted outside, the cave remained warm and cozy, completely unaffected. I opened the Reddit post again. The mockery had vanished. In its place was pure panic.
Help! There really is sized hail. It shattered all the glass on my balcony. Oh my god, I was just downstairs getting a package and I saw 2 people get hit in the head by hail. There was blood everywhere. They just collapsed and stopped moving. This isn't normal hail. Is the freeze actually real?
Impossible. How could it be the freeze? It's just a hit'll pass in a few hours. Don't let that idiot Sophia infect you with her delusions.
Someone posted a video they'd just filmed. The footage showed fist-sized hail raining down violently. Cars were dented and battered. Tree branches snapped. People paddled in thick coats were running through the snow in terror. Beneath the video, the comments tore into Nina.
Still denying it? Are you blind? When you're freezing to death, you'll find out if it's real.
Nina tried to fight back in the comments, but within minutes, she went silent. Because in just 15 minutes, the temperature had plunged to -58°.
I opened my phone. Official news was already broadcasting reports on the freeze. On the screen, the city had ground to a complete halt, transformed into a frozen wasteland. Supermarkets had been looted bare. Temperatures nationwide had dropped below 158°.
Water and heating systems had failed entirely. All essential supplies were critically scarce. The entire nation had officially entered a state of emergency.
Watching the devastation unfold, my parents' eyes filled with tears.
Thank God you brought us here. Otherwise, we'd have...
Mom, Dad, don't worry. We're safe here. Meanwhile, Nina's post had skyrocketed to the #1 trending topic nationwide. She'd become a target for everyone's rage. The people who'd been mocking me earlier had completely turned against the Ashford family.
You spent all that time calling your bio daughter an idiot. Now you know she wasn't lying. The freeze is here. What a heartless family. You created a fake apocalypse to lock away your own daughter, and now the apocalypse turned out to be real. This is poetic justice.
Nina lost her mind and started firing back in the comments.
Mind your own business. So what if she knew about the freeze? She's still just a prisoner locked in a cave. My family has money and property. We're doing 1,000 times better than her.
Stop, I live near you. I saw your windows get smashed by hail. Your heating's out too, isn't it? Panicking now? What good is money and property? You can't buy food even if you wanted to. Enjoy starving to death.
2 days passed. The freeze didn't ease. It only intensified. Global temperatures continued to break new lows. Panic spread everywhere. Nina's post updated again.
Is anyone nearby? We're almost out of food and our heat's been cut off. Can someone please bring us food and heating supplies? We'll pay. Please, we're begging. The comment section was erupted with mockery. Not a single person offered help.
Who's gonna risk their life and deliver this cold? You reap what you sow. You deserve this.
Didn't you stock 3 years of supplies for your bio daughter? Go to the cave and ask her for food. Maybe if you're lucky, she'll take pity on you. If you hadn't gone to the Teldo, she might have felt sorry enough to let you in.
Nina stared at the comments, speechless with rage but completely powerless. Meanwhile, my parents and I were living comfortably in the cave. We used the generator for power and heat every day. We ate hot canned food and rations. One morning, we were finishing breakfast when suddenly, bang, bang, bang. Someone was pounding on the iron door. Nina's and the Ashfords' shrill voices rang out.
Sophia! Get out here! Open this door!
Sophia! We're your parents! Let us in!
You heartless beach! Are you just gonna watch us freeze and starve to death?
I walked to the entrance and looked through a crack in the door. Nina and the Ashfords were buddled head to toe in layers, but their faces were deathly pale, their lips blue. Frost coated their hair and eyebrows. They'd clearly lodged a long way through the mountains to get here. Why should I let you in?
Because we're your parents! We gave birth to you! You're obligated to take care of us! It's freezing out here! Let us in or we'll freeze to death!
Sophia, don't act fool. Open the door. There are enough supplies in there for all 5 of us to survive. If you don't open up, I'll bring people here to tear this cave apart.
Bring people? You think anyone's gonna risk their life in this weather to help you? Nina had no response.
Sophia, honey, I know we were wrong. We shouldn't have lied to you. Please, just forgive us this once. Let us in and we'll make it up to you. We'll give you everything. The entire inheritance. Please?
The inheritance? The freeze is here. Money means nothing now. And your inheritance? I don't want it. I paused, then delivered the final blow. Besides, you think sending me to this cave was your own idea? Nina and the Ashfords frozen. Remember that post asking how to get rid of your biological daughter? The one where someone suggested lying about the freeze and sending her to a cave? That commenter was me. What? Their faces went pale, disbelief written all over them.
That's impossible! How could it have been you?
I didn't expect the people who made that post would be you either. I felt sorry for that biological daughter in the post. I wanted to give her a safe place to survive the freeze. I never imagined that daughter was me. Ironic, isn't it? The truth hit them like a freight train.
You ungrateful girl! You set us up! I'm gonna smash this door open and drag you out to freeze!
He swung the pickaxe at the iron door. I wasn't worried. This door had been reinforced according to my exact specifications. Steel rebar and concrete, the strongest they could build. A pickaxe wouldn't even dent it. Even a power saw would take hours. Marcus managed a few strikes before collapsing, gasping for air. They'd hiked all the way up the mountain. Their bodies were already at their limit. In this cold, they had nothing left. Within minutes, Marcus crumpled into the snow, wheezing heavily. Claire and Nina weren't much better. They leaned against the wall, shaking controllably, barely able to stand. If you turn back now, you might make it to the estate before your body temperatures drop too low. Maybe you'll survive. But if you stay here, you won't make it. The three of them glared at me with pure hatred, but their bodies had reached their breaking point. After a moment, I heard shuffling footsteps. Through the crack in the door, I watched them support each other, staggering down the mountain. Their curses echoed behind them. Thank God they left. I was so scared they'd break in. I nodded, but I knew better. With the Ashfords' greed and cruelty, this was far from over. And I was right. The Ashfords didn't give up. They did something far worse. They started a live stream, and they twisted the entire story. My sister Sophia hoarded supplies and caused the huge disaster. By the time I clicked on it, the stream already had hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Everyone, please, you have to hear me out.
The person who suggested my parents send Sophia to that cave, that was Sophia herself. She knew the freeze was coming, but she didn't tell anyone. If she just warned people, everyone could have prepared. The country wouldn't be in ruins like this.
She paused for dramatic effect.
But she kept it secret. She only cared about saving herself. She tricked my whole family into building her a survival bunker and stockpiling 3 years' worth of supplies, all for her alone. She knew the freeze was real, but she let us all suffer. She's sitting in that cave, warm and safe, while the rest of us are freezing and starving. It's not fair.
The comment section exploded.
She knew, didn't warn anyone? How can someone be so selfish? We're all freezing to death out here and she's living comfortably in a shelter? This is disgusting.
Nina watched the outrage build, a flicker of satisfactions in her eyes.
I know everyone's suffering right now. I am too. My family bought all those supplies for Sophia, 3 full years of food, water, heating fuel. The cave could easily shelter dozens of people. Keeping it to herself, it's so unfair.
Then Marcus and Claire stepped into frame, looking weak and pitiful.
It was Sophia who left that comment on our post. It's a lie, freeze entered the cave. We never would have thought of something so cruel on our own. But regardless, we bought those supplies. We built that shelter. That's real money, real resources. And now she's hoarding everything while the world is dying. She won't even let us in. She told us we deserve to freeze.
We're not trying to take everything from her. We just want her to share some of the supplies so more people can survive. But she locked us out. She cursed out.
Look, here's proof of everything we bought for her. 500 cases of rations alone. Dozens of barrels of fuel.
When viewers saw the supplies, the backlash intensified.
She has that much and won't share? Why should one person share? She's a demon. Sophia, if you have any conscience, come out and face us.
I watched the live stream coldly, immediately understanding their plan. They were using the internet to weaponize the crowd against me. Even if no one could actually storm the cave, they'd destroy my reputation forever. And if anyone did manage to break in, the Ashfords would sit back and reap the benefits. We already went to the cave once, but she chased us away. She screamed at us, said we all deserved to die. We're too scared to go back. If anyone's brave enough to try, I can tell 10 people where the cave is, just to see if there's any way to get through to her. But please be careful. The moment she said it, the comment section went wild. Dozens of people volunteered immediately, desperate for a chance at those supplies. Nina selected 10 users and privately sent them the location. I hope you all can get through to her. Maybe she'll share the supplies with people who really need them. That afternoon, I heard chaotic footsteps approaching the cave. I looked through the crack in the door.
10 men in heavy winter gear were heading toward the entrance, carrying hammers and crowbars.
Sophia, come out! Hand over the cave!
Open the door. Give us the supplies or we'll smash this door down and throw you out to freeze.
They shouted threats while slamming their tools against the iron door.
Sophia, what do we do? Can they really break in?
Don't worry, they can't get through. This door is bulletproof. Even under normal conditions, they couldn't break it. In this cold, their strength will run out twice as fast. Sure enough, after half an hour of hammering, the men completely exhausted. When they realized the door wouldn't budge, they tried negotiating.
Sophia, look, we know this is hard for you too, but it's brutal out there. People are dying.
Impossible. I earned these supplies through my own efforts. Why should I give them to you? You were manipulated by Nina. If you want supplies, go ask her. I turned away, pulling Mom and Dad back into the cave's interior. In my past life, my parents and I died because we were too soft-hearted. We'd been hiding in a cellar in the countryside with limited supplies, barely enough to last a few weeks. A little girl showed up crying at our door, saying her family was dead and begging us to take her in. We felt sorry for her and let her stay, but she turned out to be a snake. She secretly told a group of starving people where we were hiding, and they stormed in. They took over our cellar and threw us out into the cold. My parents and I froze to death in the Linus 70 FE wasteland. So in this life, I refuse to repeat that mistake. I would never show mercy to anyone again. Within minutes, the voices outside faded completely. After those men left, the Ashfords' live stream continued. Nina saw that the men had failed and became even more vicious.
See? She's exactly as heartless as I said. Those people were begging her and she still refused to help. I smiled coldly, pulled out my phone, and started my own live dream. When the Ashfields and their viewers saw me appear on screen, they froze in shock.
You! How do you have a phone? How can you stream?
I knew the post was yours. Did you really think I wouldn't prepare? The viewers from Nina's stream flood into mine, and the comments erupted.
Sophia, you selfish beach, hand over the cave. Share the supplies. You can't just let everyone die.
I ignored the insults and calmly explained everything from the beginning. I told them about the Reddit post asking how to permanently get rid of a biological daughter. I told them how I'd left a comment suggesting the cave idea, feeling sorry for that unknown girl. I told them how I never imagined I was that girl. When I showed them screenshots of the original post, of Nina and the Ashfords mocking me, calling me stupid for believing in the freeze, the comment section went silent. Then it exploded in a completely different direction.
Holy shit, they were going to imprison her for life?
So she actually saved herself by leaving that comment? This is insane.
The Ashfords are the real monsters here. How did you know the freeze was real?
Because I've lived through this before. The freeze will last 3 years, but don't panic, the government's working fast. Relief operations are already underway. If you stay inside and hold on for a few more days, heating supplies will start being distributed. People without heat will be moved to emergency shelters. Hearing this, people in the comments began to calm down and even started thanking me.
Thank you, Sophia. You're a good person. It was the Ashfields who were evil all along. They're so twisted.
Fine, tomorrow. You better keep that door locked, because if I get in, I'll make you pay.
I closed the live stream, my heart racing. I provoked them on purpose, because I knew that tomorrow, the global temperature would suddenly plummet to 100 Efria. Let's see if they'd still be so arrogant then. I was looking forward to watching the Ashfords despair. The next day, it wasn't until noon that I heard movement outside the cave. I looked through the crack and saw the Ashfords stumbling toward us, supporting each other. They looked even worse than before. Their eyes were unfocused, glazed over. They'd clearly used every last ounce of strength just to climb up here.
Sophia! Get out here! Open the door! Give us the cave!
Sophia, you beach! Open up! Or I swear, even if I die, I'm dragging you down with me!
I walked to the entrance.
I'm impressed you actually came. You knew I'd never let you in and you still showed up.
Stop talking! This cave should be ours! Those supplies are ours! You have no right to keep them!
No right? You sent me here yourselves. You spent all that effort trying to imprison me here for life. Now you want it back? Don't you think that's a little ridiculous?
Don't get cocky! You think you'll be fine after 3 years? The second you come out, we'll destroy you with one word! We'll crush you like an insect!
Too bad you won't live 3 years to see it. I turned and walked deeper into the cave. A few minutes later, sounds erupted from the back of the cave. My heart jumped. I spun around. There was a banging noise coming from deep inside, from the small ventilation opening. The Ashfords had found it. Marcus was swinging a small hammer at the edges.
Quick! Make this hole bigger! We can crawl through!
Claire and Nina clawed at the falling rocks with their bare hands.
Mom, Dad and I immediately started piling stones and supply boxes against the opening to block it.
The hammer struck again and again, chipping away at the opening, making it wider. Nina peered through the expanding gap and spotted us.
Mom, Dad, there are 2 more people in here! Get them out! Then this whole cave is ours! Sophia, you are so mean! I'll make sure you get thrown out in the cold for this!
Mom and Dad turned pale and immediately stepped in front of me. It's okay. They can't get through. Just then, the hammering stopped abruptly. The Ashfords' triumphant screaming cut off mid-sentence. The entire cave fell deathly silent. Even though we were deep inside the cave, wearing thick thermal gear with the heater running, I suddenly felt a bone-deep chill.
What just happened? Why did everything go quiet?
I looked through the widened gap toward the outside. What I saw made us all freeze. The Ashfords were locked in their positions, mid-swing, mid-reach, completely motionless. Their bodies were covered in a thick layer of frost, transformed into 3 grotesque ice sculptures. Their eyes were still wide open, but there was no life left in them. Just moments ago, the global temperature had plummeted to 100 Efria. We immediately began sealing the opening with everything we could find. I pulled out my phone. The news was broadcasting emergency alerts.
Emergency. Global temperatures have dropped to 100 Trika per thing. All citizens has caused remain indoors. Do not go outside under any circumstances.
Looking at the news, I let out a cold laugh. If the Ashfords hadn't been so greedy, hadn't been so cruel, they might have made it to an emergency shelter and survived. But they kept coming after me, kept trying to destroy me. And now they'd paid the ultimate price. They had no one to blame but themselves. I reached out to the local relief coordinator and offered to trade supplies.
The worker was incredibly grateful and even offered to bring us an emergency shelter.
I declined politely. We were safe here. There was no need to take up shelter space that others desperately needed. Over the next 3 years, without the Ashfords to bother us, Mom, Dad, and I lived peacefully in the cave. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Outside, the temperature gradually began to rise. The freeze was finally coming to an end. 3 years later, in the early spring, a relief team came and broke open the iron door with specialized equipment. Warm sunlight poured into the cave. All 3 of us couldn't help but cry. We'd finally made it. We stepped out of the cave. The first thing I saw was 3 bodies near the entrance. I looked at them without a shred of sympathy, then turned and walked away. The freeze had taken countless lives. But these 3 died because of their own greed and cruelty. Perhaps that was the most fitting punishment of all. As we walked down the mountain, a gentle breeze blew past us. The sun was warm on our skin. Everything was returning to normal. The suffering of the past was finally over. From now on, Mom, Dad, and I would start a new life together.